Respiration. We all know that the respiration is one of the important phenomena which are usually taking place in the living organism. So, breathing is essential to life because it is a process only in which the organism takes in the oxygen and they releases the carbon dioxide. And this exchange of the gases is crucial for the cellular respiration. Cellular respiration means a process that actually occurs within a cell to release the energy from the food. Now, we all know that the food is essential for energy. So, how this food is converted into the energy? So, that is all about the respiration. So, cellular respiration, it involves the breakdown of the macromolecules or breakdown of the food only, such as the carbohydrate, because carbohydrate are the main source of the energy, and they produce a large amount of the energy. Though the fat, protein, amino acid, they also are oxidized through the oxidations, and the energy which is released is stored in the form of the ATP. And this ATP is known as the energy currency of the cell. And it is the only energy which is released during this process, and it is one of the important energy which is used by the cell for the various metabolism or various biochemical reaction. So the living organisms, they require the energy for the various life processes, including the absorption is there, for the transportation, for the movement, for the reproduction, okay, and the breathing itself. So all these process, the breathing, the transportation, as well as the movement. So all these process, they require the ATP. Okay, they require the energy. So the green plant we know and the cyanobacteria, they can produce their own food through the process which is known as the photosynthesis, in which what happened, where the light energy is converted into the food. Okay, here. Okay, so this is the process of the photosynthesis where the energy is converted into the food, while the respiration is the reverse of the photosynthesis where the food is broken down, or the macromolecule, it is broken down into the energy, not the light energy but the chemical energy, that is the ATP. Okay, so however, not all plant cells, they engage in the photosynthesis, like the cells or the organelles that contain the chloroplasts, that are only responsible for the production of the food through the process of the photosynthesis. Or in a simple language, we can say that those cells who have the chloroplasts are responsible for the photosynthesis. So what happens? So those cells in the plant that do not have the chloroplast will not get food. It's not like. So the food, they must be translocated to the non-green part also, which is synthesized in the green part. Okay. So the animal, including the humans and the heterotrophic, they all obtain the food either directly from the plant, which are the herbivores. Okay, so herbivores, they directly obtain the food from the plant, while the another organisms such as the animals, some animals and the humans, they indirectly consume their food through the animals like the carnivores, or directly with the plant eating. So the microorganisms such as fungi are also there, and which may be saprophytic in the nature, and they depend on the dead and the decaying matter. So regardless of all the sources, we know that the food is the ultimate or it is the ultimate result, or it ultimates comes from the photosynthesis only. So the process of the cellular respiration generally taking place in where it is generally taking place in two sites. What are the two sites? Either it is taking place in the cytoplasm, or it is taking place in the mitochondria or of the eukaryotic cell. We know that the mitochondria are known as the powerhouse of the cell. So why it is known as the powerhouse of the cell? Just because of this, because it produces the large amount of the chemical energy or ATP. That is why it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Okay. So the breaking of the CC bond, we know that in the macromolecule what happened, there is a complex carbon compound are present. So when this bond is broken, or the CC bond of the complex compound, they are broken with the oxidation process within a cell, leading to the considerable amount of the energy. That process is known as the respirations, and the compound which is being oxidized during the process are known as the respiratory substrate. Okay, so they are known as a respiratory substrate which is being oxidized, and this process is known as a respiration. So it involves the oxidation of the respiratory substrate. Typically the carbohydrate is oxidized in a enzymatically controlled reaction, and but sometimes the protein, fats, organic acid, they can be also used as a respiratory substance in some plants. So the energy which is released during the respiration, it is not directly used, but it is trapped in the form of the ATP, that is the current energy currency of the cell, and this is stored energy in the form of the ATP. It is then utilized for the various cellular activity during the respiration, and it is used for the biosynthesis. So this one is a reaction, and we know that this reaction is just the opposite of the photosynthesis, where in the photosynthesis the carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and the energy, it is converted into the C6H12O6. While in the case of the respiration, what happened? It is a mechanism where the breaking down of the food molecules within the cells to release the energy. Okay, so it involves the oxidation of the respiratory substrate. Here the respiratory substrate is the carbohydrate, that is the glucose is here, and it can be the protein, it can be the fat, it can be the organic acid. Okay, so this is the reaction usually take place, and the energy is released in the form of the ATP, because it is not directly used, it is trapped in the form of the ATP, where then it is utilized in the various energy requiring process. So this